This is full squad. Roll. You. Oh. Jump. Arm. Knee. This is full squad. Admiral rumors. Yeah, gearbox, keep boosting that signal, punching that interference. We got a we got a House of G to get out there to the galaxy. Boom chakalaka. Hey there, welcome back to the House of G, home of the original geek and the original gamer. Let me tell you, who doggy. Yep, we are coming at you from an undisclosed location on the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Who doggy. And well, today, yeah, we're gonna go through some more of these old school comic books here. That's what we've been doing here on the House of G. Slowly making my way through a stack of comic books I've had for over a couple of decades here. That unfortunately, due to, well, life itself, I never had the real opportunity to take care of them properly. So that's what we're doing here in the House of G. It's been a fascinating experience, let me tell you. Taking a trip down memory lane, diving into some nostalgia, and looking at the state of comic books with more than 20 years of hindsight here. It's been a fascinating experience, let me tell you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this one here, as always. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. I will be making some slight changes to the channel. In the coming weeks, I will be converting from Rebel Rant to the House of G. Overall, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. It's just a slight branding change there. The focus of the channel has changed slightly from when I created the channel. So yeah, if one of these days when the House of G pops up on your screen instead of Rebel Rant, I don't want you to get confused. So just keep that in mind in the coming days, the coming weeks. I'm not 100% sure exactly when it's going to happen, but I'm still working on some stuff behind the scenes. And once I get it sorted out, then I'll go ahead and make that official change. Boom. So yeah, so this right here that's going to essentially become the actual, brand of the channel. Like I said, overall, it's going to be essentially the same thing, just a slightly different focus. The channel has evolved quite a bit. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. Oh my goodness, you got no idea. Started my first channel about 11 months ago. Jamie Craig, dude. Oh my gosh. That snuck up on me. Wait a minute. No, 10 months ago. No, yeah, okay, about 10 months ago. 10 months ago. Still snuck up on me a bit, but we're getting there. And then a few months after that, boom, Rebel Rant came into existence. And it's been quite the ride, let me tell you. So before we get started here, I just want to show you something real quick. Before I actually started the House of G, I did pick up some supplies. I discovered a company, BCW. They seem to make some pretty good comic book supply stuff. Let me tell you. Let me show you something that it makes me all excited about comic books all over again. So yeah, part of the supplies. Well, some of my comic books, they've been sitting in less, let's say orthodox type comic book boxes. One of them is actually a fireplace log box, for example. So I needed to pick up some new boxes, and I found this. This is just too cool. We got the Transformers, and this box is getting a little bit heavier because it is starting to get full. But yeah, as you can see there, IDW. And then on the side here, we got Optimus Prime wielding the spark of life there. This box is just too cool. It's too cool for school, let me tell you. But it doesn't end there. So yeah, and then you got the lid here. And you got one Optimus Prime cleaning the clock of one Megatron. That is just some cool stuff right there. You just don't see stuff like that in pop culture anymore. And that is a real shame, let me tell you. One of the reasons I started this channel is because there is, in fact, a war going on for our pop culture. Movies, televisions, comic books, even just toys, action figures. You name it. They're going after everything. And they will not stop until everything has been just whittled down into this little gray mannequin thing that you can't tell if it's male, if it's female. It's just completely androgynous. No character, no life, no defining characteristics. That's where we're heading to. That is the path that we're heading down to. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Pop culture does matter. Let me tell you. It's it has every culture, every society, they got their myths, their legends, their stories, their public entertainment and stuff like that. Every society, every nation, every culture has it. So, yeah, and it has a big impact, a big influence on people in general, on society in general. So make no mistake, pop culture matters, and we are fighting a full war for it right now. That is one of the things that inspired me to start this side channel here. And I certainly don't regret it. I doubt this channel is ever going to get monetized, the stuff that I have to say. Well, let's just say that YouTube doesn't like to promote those kinds of points of view. So I don't expect this channel to ever be monetized. And I'm perfectly okay with that at this point. So... because quite frankly, I am not going to say what they want me to say just to make a buck. Let's just put it that way and get on with this House of G. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. Yeah, the first issue we're going to go through here is the 10th. And I will give you 3 guesses what drew my attention to this particular issue, as usually is the case. Yeah, that is one pretty little thing right there, let me tell you. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, there's a lot of green going on with this covers. And as you can see there, yeah, it creates a stealth effect for me personally. Yeah, my bodyguard there, Metroplex behind me, not so much, but it does work for me. It's especially, and what's the word? Especially calibrated for my own biosignature. That's why it only works for me. and not for Metroplex. Yeah, boom shakalaka. That's some cool stuff right there. So yeah, we got the 10th. It's an interesting title there. It's a bit on the horror side. I'm not usually into horror type stuff that much. I watch the occasional horror movie, stuff like that. Just not usually my thing. This one's, it's all right. It's all right. Does have kind of an interesting character and stuff like that. The 10th dude, and I'm actually not sure whatever happened to it. Now this particular issue, it does have like those tiny little pockmarks, almost like meteor strikes on the surface of the moon or something. So yeah, I'm thinking some dirt got trapped between this issue and the previous one or something, and the weight pressed down and made those into dentations. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Corner is very slight. Yeah, that corner is actually a little bit on the bent side. So definitely not near mint. I'd say pretty good condition. Not the best condition, but it could be a lot worse shape. The ink looks fine. I'm not seeing any wear on the ink. So on the back, it's a little bit. No, that's just dust. Okay. No, on the back, yeah, the ink is fine. It's just dust on the back of the cover. So, Jiminy Cricket, man. Yeah, my life has just kind of been all over the place. Let's put it that way. So, yeah, being able to maintain a collection such as comic books, it's been very challenging for me, let me tell you. So, on the one hand, it kind of sucks that I haven't been able to take proper care of these in a more timely manner. But at the same time, I'm very grateful to still have my collection. Because quite frankly, all things considered, my collection should have been destroyed a long time ago due to circumstances beyond my control. It should have been lost to me. But by some miracle, I still got it. And believe you me, I'm very grateful for that. It's been, like I said, this has been a fascinating journey. Without my collection, I wouldn't have been able to start this journey. So, yeah. Sometimes you just got to be grateful for the little things in life, let me tell you. Who dug you? Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this issue here. Yeah, this is the 10th. And we're looking at December, issue number 4. Whoa, hello, come back here. The year 1997, 24 years ago. 24 years ago. So, yeah, I've had this one sitting around for a while. No doubt about that. So let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and skim through this. I don't sit here and read the entire thing, but I try to get at least an idea of what's going on. Okay, so you get the black chick. I'm actually not 100% sure who she is in the story. I think she's just a friend of, what's her name? Sponia. I'm so bad with names. The chick here. Yeah, I think she's just friends with this chick here. And, let's see her. So she's, I don't know if this is a dream sequence or what's going on. But she pops up in this really nice looking place. That's a lot of green stuff, grass, trees. That's her mother, and for some reason they get into a fight. So, I don't know. Wait a minute. So I think her mother, sounds like her mother is supposed to have passed away. And yeah, this is some sort of, I don't know if it's like a psychic projection or what's going on. Yeah, there's a lot of like psychic, telepathic, telekinetic type stuff going on with this series. So that's happening. And then it cuts to, what is her name? I know it starts with an E. What is her name? What is her name? Say her name so I can get it right. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. I'll tell you one thing. I'll show you here in a second. But the artist knew how to draw these characters. Let's put it that way. It was back in the day when you could tell looking at the character. Wait. Esperanza. That's her name. I knew it started with an E. Esperanza. Okay, so yeah. So we got Esperanza and the 10th character. They're doing battle with some dark baddies, creatures of darkness. And even though the 10th apparently gets his power from some sort of dark source, that's my understanding of it. So he's very much a tortured character, torn in different directions. His natural personality, character, in conflict with this dark source of his abilities. So that does make him an interesting character. Yeah, they're just duking it out, boom, boom, boom. Esperanza, she's like telekinetic or something. She's got her own psychic type abilities, and she does look pretty good in those shorts, if you ask me. Yeah, so this is back in the day when they actually knew how to draw female characters and male characters. Because if you look at this, wait, no. Wait, maybe it was the other page. Wait a minute, hold on. Might have gotten ahead of myself. There you go, boom. That is a toxic male right there, if I've ever seen one. Even though, he's a monster-looking dude. So he's a little more, he's pretty kind of exaggerated there, but yeah, you can tell it's a male character. And yeah, so this is back in the day. They knew how to draw characters and draw them right. Boom, yummy. So yeah, they're fighting this Dark. Raises Dark. That's the big baddie's name. He's constantly hounding the 10th, and by extension, Esperanza. Let's see here. Okay, so this, like I said, this is kind of a horror series because, as you can see here, so yeah, the 10th, he's actually originally human. I'm a little fuzzy on the origins. I don't know if he died and then was brought back through this dark 10th power or something like that. And so he's asking her for a drop of her blood. And apparently he's got some sort of bloodlust that needs to be sated, and then apparently in this case, like a single drop is enough to help him maintain control. So it's got a pretty dark, got a pretty dark thing to it. Now, so far there hasn't been a whole lot of like crazy gratuitous gore, even though it does pop up. So I know some people are all about that. I've seen it enough. I've seen enough stuff in my life. I don't need it. So it's, yeah. So there's some sort of, I think the government's, I don't know if it's the government or, I don't know, we got some dudes in like lab suits and stuff, like biohazard containment suits, and there is a lab here, stuff going on there. Boom. So yeah, one of these, I think they're like demonic type creatures, and this thing, yeah, they apparently had him captured in a lab. To the point where, he almost breaks free here. And then the CDC is actually called in, which, keep in mind this is like 24 years ago. So it's not the modern CDC. Let's just put it that way. And it's, it's just, kind of, there's like little plot points that move it along, but then you got the never any conflict between the 10th and Esperanza and these creatures of darkness. And so without reading it, it's kind of hard to, like, reading it word for word. I'm definitely missing a few things. But, okay, so they're in Japan. They're actually, I'm not 100% sure what. Yeah, so at the end of the, end of the issue here, they're actually in Japan looking for something or someone. And, yeah, so it's not it wasn't a bad title. It really wasn't. Not from what I can remember. It wasn't quite my bag of tea, but it was interesting enough to where I bought several issues. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest, that did have something to do with it. I'm not ashamed of it, and I will not apologize for it. Who doggy? Welcome to the House of G. All right, so that is that issue of the 10th. Nothing really groundbreaking with this particular story, this issue. Just it's continuing this overall story arc that's going on. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that was the black chick. I actually have no idea what her name is. And apparently her mother, yeah, like I said, I think her mother passed away. Oh, something about teleportation. So they teleported. Wait a minute. What? Hold on. Oh, hold on a second. Yeah, so they were actually on a train. Oh, that was an unintended stop in their teleportation. What? Oh, okay. So yeah, so I kind of, okay, see. See, I'm not actually reading, so I kind of missed that part. So yeah, so this black chick with the blonde hair, she's, yeah, that's her mother. I don't know what's going on with her. I don't know if her mother was supposed to be dead. I think her mother was supposed to be dead. It sounds like it. And then, so yeah, they get sucked into this teleportation thing with the 10th, Esperanza, and this other dude. I have no idea who he is. Kind of looks like a Dragon Ball Z character. The teleportation, they make a pit stop in a Japanese subway. Freaks everybody out. They continue their journey, boom. And then, there we have it. Yeah, so they're in Japan at their destination. But the black chick, her mother apparently gets lost in the teleportation. So no idea what happened to her. I don't know if she's... Yeah, like there's a lot of like psychic, telepathic, telekinetic type stuff going on. And so that aspect of the comic book was interesting. Yeah, so it wasn't a bad one. It wasn't a bad one. It's by and large, it's far more entertaining than any of the modern stuff. Let me put it to you that way. It's who doggy. All right, so let's do this. Yeah, time to get the bag and the board ready. Yep. There's a little trick to this. Put the corner in, boom, slide it right in. I like to get it right to where, I don't know if you can see that, the board is just below the flap, but still sticking up out of the bag itself. I like to take the corner of the binding, slide that in first, and the rest just pretty much goes in as smooth as butter. That way you're not bending the corner, making any additional creases. Does a decent job does a really good job of getting into the bag and board safely and without damaging it further. Boom, yummy. Fold that flap down. Get in there. Can be a little little reluctant sometimes. And there you have it. We got the 10th. Boom, bagged and boarded and ready for storage. All right. Wow. Yeah, that is getting full. That is well over halfway full at this point. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, when I started this House of G stream, that thing was bare bones empty. And yeah, now it's over half full. I don't know, a few more streams and I'll have to move on to the next box. And I might actually have to order some more bags and boards here. Getting a little bit low. And I know I got some more comic books I need to get through. So yeah, I need to jump on that. I need to order some more stuff here. All right, so next we're going to move on to X-Men Legacy, Age of X. Boom, boom, boom. This one's chapter 5. So there you go. So you got Professor X. That is one freaky looking picture of him. Okay, I almost thought that his eyes were actually drawn as mouths, but it's just his skin, the way they drew the wrinkles of his skin. So those are his eyes. It's just, yeah, it's kind of a horror vibe to it almost. So, an X-Men Legacy. This is issue 247 of X-Men Legacy, and to be perfectly honest, I don't even remember the title. X-Men Legacy? Unless they slap Legacy onto the regular X-Men title. Wait a minute. Okay, so reading the tiny little blurb on, they got usually got the little thing that tells you a little bit about the history of the title and everything. So it's talking about legacy being an actual person, where X-Men never existed and mutant kind has been hunted to extinction. Okay, so apparently X-Men Legacy is another alternate universe type deal or something. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. Yeah, so this is kind of touching on some of the stuff we talked about before, previous House of G's, where it started, I think, with Amalgamon, the comic book title. It was a collaboration between Marvel and DC. They took the most popular Marvel and DC characters and literally just mashed them together. And this whole what if thing, and as a one shot, it was really cool. It was as a one shot, as an anomaly, as in a what's the word? There's a word for it. Spectacle. No, it's not the word, but it's something along that lines. It's just meant to get your attention and be like, oh wow, gasp, wow. Kind of like a sideshow, a freak show, It's not meant to be the main show. And then they I think it did so well that they ran with the entire concept and integrated it into their main universes in a way. And which was a big mistake in my opinion. Big mistake. In my humble opinion, that was the beginning of the downfall of modern comics. Because in order to do something like that, you don't need any creativity whatsoever. You just take different characters that already exist, mash them together, and hey Remy, how you doing there? I hope you had a great weekend there. It's good to see you. It's definitely good to see you. Haven't heard from you since last week, so I figured you've been busy and stuff like that. So, boom, yummy. Yeah, who doggy? So yeah, we're just doing our thing here, and wow, yeah, this X-Men Legacy thing. I don't know if are you like I know you seem to be into like the geek stuff, but you read comic books and stuff like that. Do you remember X-Men Legacy? Like I have this issue here and I don't remember. This is issue 247. Wait, what year was this? This is 2011. That's why part of it. This is from 2011. So this is one of the newer ones in my collection. 20 years ago. But at this point, it was already issue 247. I don't think I have too many of these. This might even be the only one I've got. But 247 had been going for a while at that point. That's several years. Yeah, just touching on this touches on what I've been talking about. Like started with the Amalgam between Marvel and DC, and then they just ran with it. The whole parallel universe thing, alternate universe, alternate versions of characters. That's where I really believe that's where the real deconstruction of comic books began. Boom. Hey, yeah, got busy. Glad to hear from you. So copy that. Well, that's the thing though, is that so these superhero movies, MCU, DC, stuff like that, they're fun movies. I've enjoyed them for what they are. But here's the thing with them. They draw upon comic books, but they're not the comic books. So as far as I'm concerned, they're not really canon. As far as the actual characters go, the real characters, the comic books are the canon. The movies are just a fun side project. That's how I view it. And so the stuff that happens in the movies, it stays in the movies. As far as I'm concerned, it's not attached to the actual real characters. So it's like, like I said, I have enjoyed a lot of the superhero movies, but I mean, the comic books are where if you really want to know about the character, the comic books is where you're going to learn about that. And what's the point I'm trying to make? I'm not sure. I guess it touches on the fact that they've departed from the core characters, the what these characters are really all about. No, yeah. It's like most people, they were never into comic books. The thing about the movies, it's about tapping into the mainstream, getting those mainstream dollars. It's not about the comic books themselves. So it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's really cool seeing these characters come to life on the big screen, but at the same time they're sacrificing something because these movie companies, they are trying to water it down to try to pull in as many people as possible. It's a double-edged sword. Like I said, so I the movies can be fun, but when it comes to the actual characters, the comic books, the canon, the real canon, I don't take it too seriously. It's some things they've done a very good job of. Other things they've just really made a mess of. It's that's just the state of modern comic books and whatnot. But I'm telling you, it began with stuff like this. That deviation from the core comic characters and universes. It began with stuff like this. Comic books where the boundaries for imagination are limited. That's one of the things about comic books. You can literally do anything with the story, as long as it makes sense. And that's the thing. They did all kinds of fantastic stuff in the comic books, but it was still founded in reality to a certain extent. Plus, there was so much hidden in the art. I never said how to interpret. No, yeah, it's like that's a good point, because like doing this stream, even just not even reading the whole thing, like skimming through it, I'm picking up on stuff I didn't pick up on when I was younger. So that's a very good point. It's a very good point right there, because there's a lot going on, and it's very easy to miss stuff. Like this, so this X-Men Legacy thing. Apparently, Legacy is a actual mutant, and this is taking place in an alternate universe. The X-Men never existed. I honestly don't even remember this. They just ran hard with the whole alternate parallel stuff when it was supposed to be just a fun little anomaly, a break from the usual stuff. But it was so easy. I think it was so easy for them to do it. It took so little creativity. Stuff was already on a downward slide at that point. It was just a much more gentle slope, and then they hit this, and it became so easy for them. I think from there it started to steamroll. That's what I'm starting to think. And because I don't remember this X-Men Legacy, I don't even know who the character is. Legacy, I have no idea who Legacy is. Legacy, it's not just the title X-Men Legacy. Legacy is a character. I have no freaking clue. I have no clue. That's how unmemorable this comic book, this series was. This might even be the only issue that I've got from this title. Jiminy Cricket. If you look at this cover is like, it's got a horror flavor, a horror vibe. Like Professor X there is just straight up losing his mind. Like he belongs in an asylum or something. And that's never what I really considered X-Men to be. Now, it would have been entirely feasible for them to do a separate title that did kind of have like a horror vibe to it. And that could have been cool if it was his own separate thing. But they kind of shoehorned it into the actual X-Men series. It just didn't work. Not for me, at least. Now I want to look back to remember what's happening. 2011. The writer's strike. I forgot about that. Oh, you know what? That's a good question. When did the writer's strike happen? I forgot all about that. Now that you mention it. Actually, let's look that up real quick. – 2007. It looks like, the Writers Guild Association or something, WGA. It looks like 2007. Yeah, it was 2007, according. Well, blog seattlepie.com. Let's see here. Hold on, let me see if I got this set up right. Not quite. Hold on, let me. Yeah, so hopefully you can see this okay. Let's see here. Yeah. That's what this is saying right here. 2007, seattlepie.com, some sort of blog. Yeah, it talks about, November 5th, 2007 is this blog. So, yeah. And this issue is from 2011. So this is 4 years after the strike. Interesting. Let's go ahead and get back to the... Still learning stuff, figuring out how to do stuff. Let's see here. No, do that. Let me know what you find, because I'll look into that myself too. So I'm actually curious about that. So there was that writer strike in 2011. Okay, thank you for bringing up that point, because I completely forgot about that. And that's actually, turn of events. Wonder, that's a good question. How many of them did actually return to work? Wow. Yeah, the mind's just like gears are turning, it's like possibilities floating around. And it's like, oh, thank you. No, yeah, no, I'm glad you are enjoying the effects and everything. It took a lot of work just to figure out how to do those scenes and everything. And I got some ideas I'm working on. Still trying to figure out ways to streamline everything and whatnot, but it's a work in progress. I got so much going on. I'm a one-man show, let's put it that way. There's too much to do. So much to do, not enough time. So that is an interesting point right there. Writer strike 2007. No, like I said, let me know what you find out. I'm going to be looking into it myself, because that's... pieces are... It's always fascinating when a piece falls into place there, and I think you touched on something there. I completely forgot about that. So, wait, when was Amalgam? Hold on, let me double check the date on the Amalgam series. I don't remember. When did that start? Now that I'm wondering. Hold on here. Wait a minute. Okay, so I hate using Wikipedia as a source. Apparently, the Amalgam comics were around 1996 and 1997. So that was like, what is that, 15 years? So Amalgam Comics, where they took Marvel and DC and mashed them together, was 15 years before this. So Amalgam Comics kind of set the stage. They got the writer's strike. Yeah, I'm thinking we're starting to see the pattern here about how this kind of went down. At least parts of it. That's amazing. That's crazy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, every single one of us a work in progress. That's a good point. That is absolute truth right there. To this day, I'm still learning all kinds of things about myself, about life, even with everything that I've experienced. Boom, yummy. NAFTA, isn't that the trade agreement between U.S. and Mexico and Canada? Was that 1996? Wow. And like I say, pop culture matters. It is attached to the rest of society, whether society realizes it or not. So stuff that goes on in the world, it has an impact on our pop culture, and this stuff, what we end up having to decide whether or not we want to even read it and whatnot. I mean, it's all connected. It really is on some level. So, okay, let's go ahead and get into the issue here. I think we've touched on some fascinating points already. Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, X-Men Legacy, it's an actual character, alternate universe. X-Men didn't exist. I have no idea who Legacy is. At this point, it was around for at least a few years. Issue 247. Yeah, I'm curious when this actually... Now I'm curious. When did this start? Hold on. I want to know. When did this start? It's like... Remy, what'd you do? You got me on a trail here. It's like... Okay, so... X-Men Legacy. Let's see here. X-Men Legacy. 2000. Wait a minute. No. That can't be right. Don't tell me it's a different. 2008. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. It's like, okay, so hold on. The 2000. Okay, so the writer's strike was in 2007, right? This began in 2008. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Pinky? Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. No, yeah, this is fun. I appreciate it. It's like, you're getting me thinking. That's great. That's a great thing. It's like, no, I think we're onto something. The writer's strike, 2007. A year later, boom. This title begins. Legacy, some character, I have no idea. Alternate parallel universe where the X-Men don't exist. And they're just mashing everything together pretty much. I don't think that's a coincidence. I really don't. I really don't think that's honestly, I'm not a big believer in coincidence. I'm really not. And that's crazy. Wow, that's something to think about. Gonna have to think about that. And yeah, that is definitely deserving of some additional research. Gonna have to do that for real. So okay, yeah. No, I appreciate that. That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. Boom. Anime. What do you mean? So, what do you? Yeah, let me know what you mean by anime. I don't know how much of a delay there is on this stream with my main one. There's like a 23-second delay just because I think my stream setup, it just, I got a lot more going on than the average stream, maybe. Oh, you talking about Legacy? Maybe. Who knows at this point? Anything's possible. I honestly have no idea. So, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and actually get into the issue here. That was a really nice detour. But yeah, yeah, it might be time to, let's go and dive into this here. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's some characters here I have no idea. I think this is Rogue. That might be Storm. I mean, there are some characters here. Like, I think that's Storm on the left in the bikini. I don't know why she's in a bikini, but she's actually kind of rocking it. That may or may not be Jubilee right there. And then that's got to be Rogue. She's got the hairstyle and everything, her colors. That dude, I'm not sure who he's supposed to be. Then you got these characters. I think they're their version, this universe's version of the Brotherhood of Mutants or something like that. Legion, somebody named Legion. That might actually... What? I don't know. There's a lot going on. And I honestly don't remember. I don't remember this title. I don't remember this issue. I remember the cover. I do remember the cover. The cover stands out because it's got that kind of a horror vibe to it. But other than that, I don't, nothing's ringing a bell here. Yeah. Oh, that's Angel. Wait, no. The other guy's Angel. So there are some X-Men characters, but the X-Men don't exist. So the people that would have become X-Men, they're just they're in this universe. Some of them are, and I don't know. It's without reading it like thoroughly, I'm not sure. So in this case, this is Charles Xavier right there, and he can walk. He's not in a wheelchair, and it's just it's just a mishmash of its original characters that they're doing different things with them, and it's like that are not part of the real their real original core universe and everything. So see, like Star Trek did it right. Star Trek got it right. They had the alternate universe, the dark mirror universe, but it wasn't a main thing. It was an occasional thing to have fun with, to touch on it once in a while. It never became like a main thing, and that's how it should have. That's how they did it right. That's how it should have been. What? This is what I'm talking about. They took like a horror spin with the X-Men, and that's not what X-Men ever was. If they had taken and made like the New Mutants movie, from what I haven't seen it before, I understand they were taking a horror spin with it. The concept is actually interesting, but what they did was they took that whole entire concept and they put it into the actual X-Men. So yeah, it's Professor X. Something's going on with him. I don't know if it's a lab or what, having some twisted. I don't know if it's a vision or what the deal is, but I'm pretty sure it's a telepathic battle or something like that. But it's gone like way into the horror side there. Like this dude is just like, he's a hot mess there, and I don't know. It's I always like the whole the stuff that was going on, but they're just kind of. Like, that's why the cover has a horror vibe to it, because that's what's going on inside the issue. And I don't know. I never considered X-Men to be a horror title. So if they had done like a side title that had kind of a horror vibe to it, that could have been cool. They could have pulled that off. But shoehorning it into a title that's not known for being a horror title, I don't think it works. I really don't. Sorry. So then, let's see here. Yeah, it's just, without actually sitting down and reading it, it's hard to tell exactly what's going on. But yeah, it's the X-Men don't exist. There's a parallel universe. I don't know what the connection is to the... See, that's the thing. I don't know what the connection is to the primary world of the X-Men. Honestly, as far as I can tell, there is no like tangible connection to the main title. As far as I can tell, this is a completely standalone title where there aren't any original characters crossing over into this universe. So I'm not sure what they were going with here. And so it says, it's X-Men Legacy. That makes you think, like looking at that, it makes you think that there's a direct connection to the real X-Men. But just breezing through this, I'm not catching any real connection. It's just a completely standalone universe. And it's just... But then this is where it gets weird. So then it talks about... This is the final panel of this issue. So yeah, and it says the walls are coming down, boom. But then down here, I don't know if... Jim Cricket. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that. But it says, to be continued in New Mutants... What was it, 242, something like that? New Mutants 24. So, as far as I know, New Mutants is part of the main X-Men continuity. So, I'm confused. Like, I don't know how is it crossing over into New Mutants? Like, where's the connection? Maybe I just need to sit down and read it, but so far I'm not catching any connection. Wait a minute. Wait, time out. What? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. Oh. Okay, so there is a connection. Okay. Now, as far as Professor X goes, I don't know if this Professor X is the original Professor X or this alternate world Professor X. I can't tell yet. I'd have to sit down and read it. But based on this one panel right here, where Professor X is discussing some stuff here, he's actually talking about his son. So if you remember, Professor X had a son, and he became this entity called Onslaught, and he was just ripping through the world in large, taking down mutants left and right and stuff like that. And I think that Onslaught was just looking to just destroy it, make the world burn. So apparently, okay, so if I'm understanding this correctly, this world here for X-Men Legacy is essentially an artificial world, exists within a bubble. It sounds like it was created by Xavier's son, Onslaught. I still have no idea who Legacy is. Legacy is supposed to be a character. I have no idea, unless Legacy. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, because that is Myra. It looks like Myra. Man, this is a pretty twisted title. Let me tell you. I don't know if Legacy. His son had incredible telepathic psychic abilities. Geez, I just browse the anime and manga. Our work is crossing over. Also stories maybe great. They're all having. They've been having babies for decades because they anime and manga so far seem to be holding the line as far as creativity and originality go. So yeah, I've definitely been thinking about getting back into manga and stuff like that. As far as this stuff goes, I mean, they've been having babies for a long time, and that just helped to open the door to all this modern day nonsense. So this is, I would have to look into this because I finally figured out the connection to the main X-Men continuity. I have no idea if this Professor X is the real Professor X or if it's this alternate reality bubble Professor X. That I still have no idea. But yeah, apparently this world is a creation from Onslaught, his son. And I don't know the full story behind Onslaught. I know some of it. There was the whole story arc that went on for a while where he was just tearing up the world. I don't know. There's some interesting concepts behind it, but then at the same time, this started after the writer's strike. So there may have been potential with the whole thing, but I don't know. I'm honestly not sure what to think right now. Yeah, it is now that we've got an actual connection to the main continuity. It is interesting to an extent. Maybe not for the best reasons. But who is this? This dude with the mask? I don't even know. Yeah, I would have to sit down and read this. There's a lot of the thing with everything being kind of mashed up and mixed up. It's hard to keep track of it without actually sitting down and reading it from cover to cover. But oh man, dude. It's just 2007 writer strike, boom, 2008 this thing started. I don't know. I kind of feel like I had potential, and this is issue 247, so it went on for a while. So I'm maybe it wasn't all bad, but I can definitely see how it opened the door to what's going on with modern comic books, how modern comic books have just been run into the ground. Playbook for evil plans. There's a lot of those playbooks out there, no doubt about that. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I think some of the stuff was done with good intentions, and yeah, without a doubt, there were people out there that took advantage of it. They saw an opening, and that's just the state of human nature. There are people out there that will look for opportunities to subvert and just change stuff that are actually good, and just warp it into something else. Yeah, there are people out there that do that. And they've really taken full hold of our pop culture in general. So, in and of itself, this might not have been a completely bad series. I don't know. I don't know if I even have any other issues from this series. But without a doubt, there is some laziness there, because it's all original X-Men characters that have been slightly changed. The real point of the story is in the history of this world itself. And I don't know. I would have to read more of it, more of these issues to be able to really, and let alone read this one from cover to cover. Oh, ex-husbands, and don't forget ex-wives. Boom, yummy. So yeah, that's X-Men Legacy, Age of X, Chapter 5, issue 247. I think we've made some interesting connections, interesting points that do deserve some additional research and whatnot. That's yeah, I think we touched on some interesting stuff here, no doubt about that. Wowzers! Oh my goodness. It's Jimmy Cricket. You're kind of giving me some ideas on some potential content to work on. Actually, I'm gonna write that down real quick. Give me just a second. It is amazing, like doing a stream, ideas will just pop in your head. It's crazy. Yeah, so okay, that's not a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. That's okay, because I will forget that in about 5 minutes if I don't write it down. So okay, thank you for the idea. Thank you for getting those gears turning. Boom shakalaka. So we got X-Men Legacy 2011 issue 247, bagged and boarded, ready for storage. Boom shakalaka. This has been amazing. The House of G in general has just been amazing. And in fact, Remy, you're the first person to really get involved in the chat here. I really appreciate that. It's been pretty amazing. And yeah, you just planted a seed there. Let's see if that seed grows over time here. Boom shakalaka. Oh, it is. It really is. It's wow. I mean, like I say, pop culture matters. The average person might enjoy the movies, but they don't understand the comic books. They don't understand the love of the comic books. And this conversation we're having, it touches on why this stuff is so interesting for me and for other comic book fans, and why we're so passionate about it, and why it's such a big deal. Because this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. It doesn't grow in a void. The stuff it's born out of real life and just human nature. So it's got a very real human connection core to it. So all right, so let's go ahead and let's get on to the next issue here. And we've got, you might have guessed, the Thunderbolts. So yummy. And I don't type much because, especially right now, we got the one-on-one going. There's not, like I said, you're the first person to really get involved in the chat. So it makes it a lot easier to just talk to you directly. So that's why I haven't been typing much. So I can usually keep track of where the conversation's at. So, so I don't know how many of the other House of G's have seen. I actually have a lot of issues of the Thunderbolts because I was actually a pretty big fan of them when this title came out. Yeah. I've got a lot of these. But here's the thing. I think I do have the issue 15. This is issue 16. So you've got Thunderbolts issue 16, July, I want to say, what was it, 1998? 1998. And, oh, yeah, you can tell this, the ink, you can tell it's a bit older. Yeah, I actually have issue 15. I remember the ending of it. At the very end, the lightning rods pop up. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Look at these characters. What's the first thing that comes to mind? Already established characters. That's what comes to mind. So you get this pterodactyl looking dude. He's actually kind of original. I can't think of anything off the top of my head he reminds me of. You got Big Bertha in the middle there. That's the Blob. You got this Ribbon Man. That's Mr. Fantastic or Plastic Man. You got these two guys in the middle. I think that might actually be Speedball, an original character. But you got this other guy who looks like Symbiote Spider-Man. I don't know what's going on with that. What is going on with that? I don't know what's going on with that. There's like a leg sticking up. Oh, that's some. Okay, so there's like a few characters are flying off the edge of the panel there. But then it's still the Speedball with that black dude. I don't know what's going on there. They're like, the black guys, like, they're like them merged at the hips or something. What is going on with that cover? This cover's kind of a mess. Oh, I appreciate that, Remy. I really do. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot to me. You have no idea. It's been, especially starting at the start of 2020, things have been crazy. Starting these channels have been a godsend for me. They've really helped me get through some stuff. Hopefully they've helped other people. And it's been a blessing, no doubt about that. So I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, right? I really do. Boom. Yeah, so these are rip-off characters. Some of these are rip-off characters. This is what was it? 1998. So this is long before the writer's strike. Now, yeah. So this is before the writer's strike. 1998. 9 years before the writer's strike. And you can see, even before the writer's strike, there was still some fairly blatant plagiarism. Now, granted, Marvel is plagiarizing against itself, so legally they can do that. But there were signs of the laziness back then, the lack of creativity. The gender swapping, they took Blob, made him a female. I mean, that's Mr. Fantastic. He's just way flatter. He's just way flatter. NAFTA, I'm curious about that. Now that you bring it up, I'm wondering if there is a connection. Maybe, I don't know. I never thought of like NAFTA. It's a trade agreement, so you don't think that would have an impact on stuff like this. But who knows? Depends on what was in the agreement and everything. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Music, Bagley, Hannah, those are the names on the cover. No, that is a good point. Outsourcing. It does make me wonder. Yeah, that does deserve a little looking into. Admin offices, held negotiations about content. Oh, that's always an issue. That is always when these companies, anytime a company goes from being like a small little thing to like a giant corporation type deal, that's always that. It seems to happen like 99% of the time, where pleasing the board is more important. Investors and shareholders, that becomes the driving force rather than, the creativity, telling a good story, creating good characters, or, any kind of business. Any kind of business. That always seems to be, like 99% of the time, that seems to be the end result. I'm not saying corporations are necessarily bad. It's just the priority. Once a company reaches a certain point, like a point of critical mass, the priorities get skewed so badly. And now it depends on the company. Some companies, if there's somebody in charge that started the company and they maintain control of the company, they can keep it on track. They can keep the company on point. But so many times, the board takes over, or the investors, whatever, the focus changes, and it just it makes a mess of things. It really does. See, the NAFTA thing, you might be onto something there. That definitely deserves a little inquiry. It's like, yeah. The quality declines. That's the nature of our entire reality, our universe itself. We're getting into some physics here. Everything in nature tends towards entropy. Entropy is decay. Everything breaks down over time. And that is true on every level of our reality, even when it comes to macroorganisms, including human beings, and how we create something over time, it decays. That is the natural state of our entire reality itself. So it's not a surprise there. It's not a surprise. And it's pretty amazing. I mean, you look at, because I'm a biological scientist, and that's one thing I've noticed, is that on every level, like, everything's mirrored. Like, it's all, there's so many similarities on every level, talking from like a subatomic level all the way up to the macro level, to the universe itself. There's so much just conservation. It's so hard to describe, because I haven't ever really talked about that out loud. It's so hard. You get your thoughts, and if you don't talk about it, if you talk about it for the first time, you're trying to figure out how to put it into words. It's like, so yeah, that's what happens with these companies. Like I said, I don't have a problem with corporations per se, but there is a point where they reach critical mass, and they basically turn into this cancerous mass, because it sucks up all the resources, trying to make the focus changes from the original purpose of the company or the product, and it turns into like just the bottom line, and then the product itself decays as a result. And that's just okay. We're getting sidetracked. That's a rabbit hole. We're getting sucked into a rabbit hole here. It's like, what? Let's try to get back on track here. No, it's an interesting conversation. That's why it's a rabbit hole, because it just doesn't end. But yeah, there's a lot of parallels, a lot of connections when between science and organisms and life, society, pop culture. It might not seem like it at first glance, but there's a lot of connections there. But yes, this is a good example though, because I mean, these characters are rip-off characters. I enjoy Thunderbolts. I really do. These characters, they're lazy. They needed to pop out some characters for the Thunderbolts to go up against. And they're just like, oh, we'll take Blob, make him female. We'll take Mr. Fantastic, make him flat. And this other dude, I got no idea. This guy's somewhat original, but still extremely goofy looking. I mean, look. I think it's supposed to be a female. If you look really closely, I think that's actually supposed to be a female, which would make sense because it is pink. So it's like that. At least that much they got right as far as that goes. But now I'm not sure, because looking at this picture, I don't know if it's. Now I'm not sure it's female, because the physiology kind of changed there. So I don't know if it's just the angle, the way. I don't know. I got no idea. Oh, you know what? That is not Speedball. That is not Speedball. I thought for a moment that was Speedball, because you got the black guy in front of him. It's got all the black bowls. That's not Speedball. I'm not sure who this guy is. But I can guarantee you he's a ripoff of somebody. Maybe even a couple of somebodies mashed together. See, the thing about the Thunderbolts are actually fairly original characters. They're fairly original. I mean, she kind of pulls from Phoenix a little bit with her that at least the design of her character, at least. You got Mach 1, who's kind of Iron Man-y, but not really. He's original enough. You got this chick. She's one of the Thunderbolts. I'm not even sure who she... I think she's just a brawler or something. I got no idea, but they're fairly original characters. But then you got this other thing coming in, and they're blatant ripoffs. And he's even got an F on his chest. I think his name's like Flatman. I mean, it's such a blatant Mr. Fantastic ripoff. Like, what? A potato head? Did you see a potato head? I don't know, but she looks like a giant freaking potato, that's for sure. You got this guy. He looks like Spider-Man right there, symbiote Spider-Man. I don't know what he's supposed to be, though. So, yeah, it's just so much rip-off stuff. And this is before the writer's strike. After and after, before the writer's strike. And this is kind of disturbing right here. Like, do you really want to see that? Is that really what you want to see? What? What is this? It's like this panel right here. It's like they pulled it from the deepest, darkest, most twisted corner of the internet. What is that? What is that? What am I looking at? Please explain this to me. If I have to see it, so do you. What is this? That's just completely inappropriate. I'm sorry. Thank you. Ew. What? I'm sorry. Who thought that was a good idea? This is 1998. 1998. 9 years before the writer's strike. 33 years before the modern state of comic books. It's been coming for a long time. It's been Kanye. No, not Kanye. Cardi B. I think you're thinking Cardi B. It's like, dude, this is like definitive Cardi B type stuff right there. Oh, Jimmy Cricket. Are you serious with this stuff? Let's see here. So, I don't know. Some of these characters are they're blatant ripoffs. They try to be original with a couple of them. The pterodactyl looking thing is honestly, it's just kind of weird. Because it's, I mean, look at the head. It's like they took inspiration from a pterodactyl from an alien planet. Because it's just an oval-shaped head, no features, almost like an alien head, alien face smashed on a pterodactyl body. It's plain, boring, and weird. It's just I don't even know what this stuff. And keep in mind, I enjoyed the Thunderbolt series. I'm not bashing the Thunderbolts. I'm bashing the Lightning Rods. This weird team that came out of nowhere. The Thunderbolts was an interesting series. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like a blockbuster series, but it was a fun one. But these Lightning Rods, I don't know where they came up with these, because they're just okay. And then here's the thing. So Baron Zemo is kind of like the main villain in the series. And he somehow developed this technology. I think they're like clones or something, and he can like do away with them anytime he wants. So yeah, it looks like he actually created the Lightning Rods team, which could potentially explain their generic nature. So I don't know. Yeah, her name is Big Bertha. B for Blob. Maybe Zemo just doesn't have any creativity and ripped off some of these characters in the universe. I don't freaking know, man. I just don't. I mean, unless they were purposely making fun of established characters or something. That's the only thing I can think of at this point. Maybe they were, because at least there was a backstory to it. You got Zemo creating this team to basically just harass the Thunderbolts. So he wasn't necessarily looking to come up with like, original character, original. It was just something that he slapped together trying to just antagonize him. So from that perspective, I can kind of go with that. But with the more modern stuff, and they're blatantly ripping out, and these are supposed to be the main characters, that's a no-go. In the context of this issue, of this title, I can kind of go along with that, actually. Now that we've actually reached that part of the story, it makes a little more sense, actually. It's a little more palatable. So it's not as bad as what they're doing 10 years later. You want to read the issue? Hey, look it up. It's that's what I'm gonna do. I'm done with modern comic books for the time being, for the foreseeable future. My goal at this point, once I get through my stack here, I'm gonna start buying back issues. So if you're interested in do that, I highly encourage you to do that, because the old school stuff is superior. Even this is even like old school. This is like 30 years ago. And when I say old school, I'm talking about like golden age, silver age. But even this stuff, it's superior to any of the trash they're putting out today. So if you're interested, if you're sincerely interested, I highly recommend you do that. Check it out. See if you can find some back issues. Because that's my goal. I want to build start building my collection again. But I'm not going to do it with the modern trash. I'm going to do it with the back issue stuff, the old school stuff. So that if you're interested, I definitely recommend it. It's fun. It's really fun. It's like if you enjoy reading, if you've enjoyed the movies, if you're actually looking to expand your experience there, I would definitely recommend it. It's the stuff can be fun. I know the average person looks at, it's for comic books or for kids. It's a good, it's a childish medium. Depends on the comic book. Depends on the title. There's some good stuff out there. There really is. It's Jiminy Crick, we went kind of down a rabbit hole there. That was not expected. And then, I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, but boom, all of a sudden, we got their Incredible Hulk. There we go. Now, they would do that. They would bring in actual mainstream characters, established characters to help boost the title and everything, which is perfectly acceptable. And in this case, they did bring in the Hulk. I'm not sure why he's here without rating it exactly, but they stumbled across him apparently, or the Hulk is just going crazy. It's like Thunderbolts come in trying to wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Okay, so I had a sneaking suspicion. As it turns out, this is not the real Hulk. Where is it there? There, boom, boom. Some sort of a robot cyborg thing posing as the Hulk. And it looks like, yes, Baron Zemo is behind it. And he's got some interesting toys that he's playing with in this series. And then, boom, this guy shows up. Now, this guy, I remember him. I remember the costume and everything. The Thunderbolts are mine. And I can't remember. There's something about him. I can't remember what was going on with him. Citizen V. Okay, so he's Citizen V. Apparently, Citizen V is an established character. I vaguely remember Citizen V. This was an interesting series. It was. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. It was slightly off mainstream. It drew inspiration from the mainstream of Marvel, but it put a really interesting twist to it and everything. And they did create some new characters for the series that were actually not half bad. Knock off designer bags. That's a good way of putting it. Knock off designer bags. Except that these, like the lightning rods, they're knockoff designer bags. Plain and simple. But within the context of the story, with Zemo being behind this team, it makes sense. It plays. It does. It plays. Maybe not perfectly, but it makes sense. It makes sense enough to sit there and be like, okay, I can get with that. And then, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff going on. There's all kinds of stuff going on in the series. And honestly, I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed this series. It was different. They took a chance. It wasn't bad. Baron Zemo was involved. He's like pretty much the main bad guy there, which was interesting. It was very interesting that they chose Zemo as the main antagonist for the Thunderbolts. So it wasn't a bad series. It really wasn't. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. And they didn't do this parallel universe nonsense. They didn't take established characters and be like, oh well, we're gonna do this to them. No, these were original characters, and they actually had these characters, these heroes. They actually had history as villains before that. It's actually a redemption story. So this was actually an interesting title. See, this is back when they actually took risks with comic books that made sense, and that had some entertainment value to it. Like it wasn't this modern trash. This was actually interesting. I enjoyed it, and it just breezing through this makes me want to pick it up again. Makes me want to pick up the issues that I missed and reread the stuff that I have. Oh my gosh, man! It's like, yeah, it's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So we got the 10th. We got the X-Men Legacy, which is like, I don't even know what to think of that yet. But then we got this, and this was actually legitimately enjoyable. It was not mainstream and huge, but I think the people that turn their nose up at it, I think they missed out on something. I really do. I enjoyed it. Oh man, dude! Like, I can't. It makes me want to pick up some back issues. It really does. So let's go. Okay, so let's go get the bag and the board, get this baby ready for storage. Oh my gosh, that was a cool one. That really was a cool one right there. It's like, boom, chakalaka, slides in smooth as butter. Get that flap in there, nice and tight. Boom, chakalaka. There we go. Thunderbolts. Introducing the lightning rods, which are they're a blatant ripoff, but there's actually a pretty good reason for it. That's what's so surprising. It's not that there's a blatant ripoff. It's that there's an actual, like, legitimate reason for it. Zemo, he's a supervillain. He's not a freaking comic book creator. He's like, he needed to create a generic super team to distract the Thunderbolts. So that's what are you gonna expect him to do? He rips off real life people in this universe. It makes sense. It's like, okay, so we got Thunderbolts, July number 16, 1998. Boom, bagged and boarded, ready for storage. I personally enjoyed this series. I really did. It was a fun one. It was just a fun series. So yeah, okay. So now we get to the coup d'etat of this particular RCG. Ooh, I can actually see fingerprints on there. That's not good. That's not good. But who doggy? So we got the Flash, notably the Black Flash Part 2 to 3 in living memory, Linda Parks, who was his girlfriend. So that's a very tragic looking cover. So let's go ahead and take a look inside and see what's going on here. Now I do vaguely remember the Black Flash story arc. I always wondered what happened to Linda Parks. Actually, I liked her way better than Iris West, and I wondered what happened to her. Wait a minute. Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. Now I'm confused again. So it starts off with this: once upon a time, boom. And she's all like, hey, you're looking for a new girl. So apparently this was in the past, and something happened. He thought she was dead, but she was actually alive. So then, yeah, so this is some sort of flashback type deal. Wait, they got married. What? See, that I didn't know. So she wasn't just his girlfriend. Linda Park. They actually got married. The Flash actually married Linda Park. Right there. And They had a baby. She got pregnant. And because of his super speed abilities, wait a minute, what's going on? I don't remember any of this. I don't remember any of this. And it wasn't just one baby. It was triplets. They had triplets. I had no idea. Wait a minute, what happened to his kids? Wait a minute, if this is the case, what happened to his kids? Where did his... Wait a minute, unless it's part of the story arc? Now I'm just confused and fascinated. Like, what? But then, okay, at some point she does get killed. That's her funeral. I don't know. Let's continue here. Maybe it'll explain it. Now we're talking about the Black Flash here, so I'm assuming he's got something to do with it. I remember being intrigued by the Black Flash or story arc. I just don't remember anything about it. Yeah, so it's just dealing with so Linda Park dies, the funeral. The mother slaps Wally. I don't know if... mother accuses him of murdering her daughter, which, obviously isn't the case, but I guess everybody knows that Wally West is the Flash at this point, because the mother seems to know that he's the Flash, and he's not in costume, so apparently the public knows who the Flash is. And then, let's see here. Just some conflict. So we got Jesse. Is that Jesse Quick? I don't know, looks like maybe the Justice League is involved here or something. Yeah, Captain Boomerang. That's a giant boomerang attached to. It's like fused itself to Jay Garrick. I think that's Jesse Quick trying to help him out there. And then, so you got Jesse Quick. I guess she frees Jay Garrick from this boomerang. It's basically magnetized to his DNA or something. And then, so I guess Wally West is still grieving from Linda's death and everything. Wait a minute, what? Hold on, wait, what? Now I'm confused again. Okay, I'm really confused. Because it showed a panel there where he married Linda Parks. But then there's this panel here. And Jesse Quick is visiting with Wally. He's grieving. There's a ring that he clearly states that he was planning on proposing with it. So now I'm very confused because at the beginning of the comic book, it showed him marrying Linda, them having kids. But now in this panel, she's dead and they haven't actually gotten married yet. I'm confused. I am so confused. What's going on? Yeah, I'm not reading this word for word. So maybe I missed something. Max Mercury. Max Mercury is in here. He's another off-brand Flash type deal. I forget exactly what his story is. I know he's. I think he's a hero. Pretty sure. Yeah, he's a hero type. Wait a minute. Hold on. And it's actually labeled a Max Mercury interlude. Let's see here. Okay, so he's doing some sort of Speed Force meditation. So I kind of get the sense that the Black Flash was some sort of like Grim Reaper type thing of the Flash, the Speed Force or something maybe. Oh, you know what? I think that's what it was. So yeah, Max Mercury is doing some sort of Speed Force meditation, and he touches on the entity or presence of the Black Flash or something. Linda Parks wasn't its target. She got in the way. I think there might be some time travel involved here, and it's coming back. The Black Flash is coming back. Wally West has no idea. So yeah, so Wally West is with the Impulse, I think his name was. They're in some sort of diner. There's some sort of diner, and they're hanging out and whatever, talking. Max Mercury is having some sort of meditation, Speed Force vision, and he's like, "Wally, get out of there, get out of there." And then, blammo, Black Flash. Now, I did watch the CW television show of The Flash, and there was this point where Barry Allen was traveling through time, and there was like this entity within the Speed Force trying to catch up to him because he violated some sort of a law of nature regarding the Speed Force. So I'm wondering if that's connected to this. I wonder if this is where they got the idea for that, because I think this entity is from the Speed Force, and it's basically like the Grim Reaper of the Speed Force or something like that. And that's what I think that, yeah, I was actually pretty interested in this story arc. I think I've got, yeah, I don't know. I want to say I've got more, maybe not, because it is part 2 of 3. So this was actually pretty intriguing. And oh man, just that panel makes me want to pick up the next issue. Like, I want to know what happened with Linda. And what was going on? Was that like, I mean, it showed them getting married. It showed her having triplets. So what happened? What happened? I'm missing something here. Definitely missing something. Because it's talking, when it's showing them getting married, having kids, it's talking in the past tense as if it's already happened. But then it cuts to this point where Linda's dead, and they haven't gotten married, they haven't had their children. So it's a little confusing. There definitely seems to be some sort of time travel aspect to this. Without reading part 1 and part 3, I'm a little confused. Go on. That's what I'm talking about, though. This was an interesting issue. This was an interesting story arc. You get, the Black Flash, part 2 of 3. And that final panel just makes me want to pick up the next issue. That's a good story right there. That is a good comic book. And oh man, that's how it used to be. That's how these characters got so popular. It's because of writing like that, stories like that. Now, I don't like the fact that Linda's dead. I liked Linda Parks better than Iris West. This was, what year was this? I forgot the year. 1998. So this is 1998. After NAFTA. This is 9 years before the writer's strike. So I don't know. Maybe they just killed her off for the shock value. I don't know. I don't like the fact that they killed her off, though. And replaced her with Iris West. I only know Iris West from the television show. She was okay at the beginning, but like, it's no longer the Flash. It's the Iris West show masquerading as the Flash. I don't like what they've done with that character at all. So I'm assuming that they pulled from the comic book character as well. I honestly barely even remember Iris West from the comic book. But I liked, as far from what I do remember, I just like Linda Parks better. So it's kind of annoying that they killed her off. But that's neither here nor there. As far as the story arc goes, it's an interesting story. It's a very intriguing story. You got the Black Flash, this mysterious entity, apparently traveling through the Speed Force, maybe even through time. Not happy with the Flash. Not happy with Wally West. So much so that he's trying to kill Wally and takes out Linda instead and comes back to finish the job. Interesting. Yeah, 1998. 1998. So it seems like the years between 1997 and mid 2000s were transformative. I think it really seems like a lot of stuff started happening within that time frame that turned into a snowball downhill slide to what's going on today in modern pop culture. I think we're getting a better picture of it here. This has been fascinating to say the least. It's wow. So yeah, this was an interesting issue, interesting story arc. I've always liked the Flash. He's been an interesting character for me. And yeah, the Black Flash, death of Linda Park, her funeral, all that. Yeah, it was an interesting. I like this one. I like the story arc. I like this issue. So this is an example of comic books done right. Boom chakalaka. All right, let's get this baby bagged and boarded and ready for storage. Boom, boom, boom. And you always want to make sure you put the shiny side forward, because that side, it's got a little gloss to it, slight gloss to it. So on the other side, it's a little more flat as far as the shine goes. Yeah, so you want to make sure you get that glossy side. I think that's supposed to provide some measure of protection or something, maybe. At least that's how plus the way it curves like that, I don't know. That just seems like the proper side for it. Take that corner of the binder, boom, pop that in, slides in smooth as butter. Boom, boom, yummy, yummy. And there we have it. Yep, the Flash, the Black Flash, part 2 of 3. Boom shakalaka. Issue number 140. 140. Yeah, I remember them rebooting the Flash title. Never quite understood why they do that, because you got the number. Those numbers mean something, you know. When you got some of these titles hit like 1,000, issue number 1,000, that's a big deal. It's like, why? That's something I never understood. Why would you want to reboot the number like that? Because the Flash has been around a long time. There was Barry Allen and then Wally West. But why did they reboot the number on that? Why did they do that? There it is. 140. Why did they reboot that at 1? I don't remember. But why would you need to? That's the question. The Flash is the Flash. Why would you reboot the number? Wondering about that one. But all in all, it was a good issue. So that actually makes me want to get part 1 and part 3, if I don't already have it. It's possible that I do. Just haven't stumbled across it yet. We'll see here. Still plenty to go through and everything. Boom, yummy. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this House of G. I tried to keep it around an hour and a half. Sometimes it pushes to about close to 2 hours, which I'm not complaining about. It's not a bad thing. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this one. I enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. Definitely had some fun. As far as legal, I don't think it was a legal thing, because it's DC. It's their own title, their own issue, and everything. No, I don't think so. I don't see why I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I don't think that's it though. I mean, it'd be worth looking into. It would be looking into. I think maybe there was something else going on there, because I word up G, OGG. See here, we're not the OG. We're the OGG. It's like. Maybe someday I'll make a t-shirt out of that. We'll see here. That's like, that's the dream. That's part of the dream, at least. Boom shakalaka. All right. Well, thank you for hanging out, Remy. Thank you for blowing up the chat. I really appreciate it. That's been a lot of fun. So. Yeah. So I know you've been busy and everything. So hit me up whenever you get time. I know what it's like. I am just, oh my Lord, I am bonkers busy with everything I got going on here, and we're just getting ramped up. Let me tell you, my main channel is actually starting to get some traction, which is exciting, and there's been a little bit of traction over here on Rebel Rant / House of G here, so that's been surprising too. I definitely want to keep both channels going, and who knows wherever one or the other might take us. I got no idea, but that's what makes it so exciting. So this is let's keep on keeping on here. Modern pop culture might be in a sad state of affairs, but it's not the first time something that people have cared about, loved about, has been dragged down into the gutter, only to rise anew. And yeah, we'll see where things take us here. Boom shakalaka. Thank you very much for that, Remy. I appreciate it. It's been the main channel is 10 months in the making at this point. It's amazing to finally see something happening. I can only dream about where it could end up going. Same thing for House of G here. This has been something else. Okay, so yeah, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it, and thank you for helping to connect some dots there, raise some questions, and yeah, it's some cool stuff. It's like, I know you got some stuff going on too, so I wish you the best of luck there. Hit me up when you get time, when you got time, when you get a chance to. Yeah, we'll see what we can do here. It's a community. It really is. There's a full-blown community behind this. People from all walks of life. Yeah, this is not a one-man show. My channel is a one-man show, but being a geek and gamer, that is a community deal right there. Man. It is fun stuff. So okay, let's wrap this baby up. It was a fun one. I want to thank you again. Thank you for helping making it even more fun. And all right, Remy, you have yourself a great day. Anybody else that's watching, I hope you have a fantastic Monday. I hope this helps you roll into the week there with a smile on your face, if nothing else. And I will see you on the next House of G. Yeah, we are. We are lit. This has been House of G, home of the original geek, original gamer. You have yourself a fantastic Monday and a rest of your week. Who doggy? All right, Gearbox, go ahead and take over and wrap things up for us here. You have yourself a good one.